One of the things that drives me crazy sometimes with people in general, so I tell my therapist, when people live in a tunnel and they can't see out of the tunnel, like Philadelphia guy thinks everybody loves the Eagles or they're against the Eagles. And most people, frankly, in America don't care about the Eagles. Outside of Philadelphia, nobody wakes up worrying about the Eagles. We're not for you. We're not against you. We don't give a rip. I do like Carson Wentz in the front office. And when I lived in the East Coast, Boston is one of these cities where they think everybody just cares about the Red Sox. No, they care about the Yankees. People think everybody cares about the Patriots. No, they care about the Cowboys. So Dallas plays New England this week. Dallas is overwhelmingly the #1 brand in America in sports. It's not close. 8 of the top 50 TV ratings in America last year were Cowboy games. That includes all television. 8 out of 50. And the Cowboys were 9-7. They're not winning Super Bowls like New England. So Brady was asked on WDEI if he thinks the Patriots, and it doesn't surprise me that a New England host, hey, are we America's team in New England? And Brady, smart, self-awareness, from California, traveled the world, big picture guy, not Patrick O'Sullivan from Southie. Brady's like, slow down. New England's not America's team.
I mean, I don't think we're probably America's favorite team at this point. So I think we've got 6 states that cheer for us. So 6 is better. Most teams have like 1 state or a little bit of an area, but we got 6. So I think that's pretty good. The fans we have, we really appreciate, and they come out and support us. But we have a lot of non-fans too. I'll put it that way.
By the way, I don't think Connecticut supports the Patriots. I think it's 50-50 with the Giants and the Patriots. Goulet's from Connecticut. It's a borderline New York Giants state over a Patriot state. And by the way, if the Patriots went 5-11, 5-11, 5-11 when Brady retires, nobody would care. They would be the Toronto Raptors. Nobody would care. Dallas is Starbucks. It's popular everywhere. The Patriots are Dunkin' Donuts. The further you get away from New England, nobody cares. There's only 3 real brands in this league in the NFL. Dallas is 1, Pittsburgh 2, Green Bay is 3. There is no number 4. Number 4 is based on who's winning. If Drew Brees won a Super Bowl, the Saints would be number 4. San Francisco with Montana, they were a 4. Bradshaw with the Steelers. When you get these big iconic brands like Green Bay with Favre, Dallas with Aikman, Big Ben, Bradshaw with the Steelers, they challenge the Cowboys, but they never surpass them. Favre with the Packers, Aikman with the Cowboys, that's about as close as you can get to surpassing Dallas when you got the handsome, the star quarterback. But the 4th most popular team in this league, it just, Seattle with Russell Wilson for 2 years was wildly, Philadelphia for about an hour, the Giants winning Super Bowls. But it's a 3-team brand league. Nobody's ever surpassed the Cowboys. There's a rule in the NFL. You cannot put any team, what's the rule? It's a TV rule on primetime. You can't have any team on more than 6 times. That's called the Cowboy rule. Otherwise, everybody would put the Cowboys. I mean, we at Fox, we'd put them Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. Last year, I think they were the highest-rated game on 4 to 5 networks. Ours, CBS, Sunday night, Monday night. They have to create rules so that you don't put the Cowboys on primetime. So Brady gets it. Brady gets it. Like, the Cowboys have always been number 1. This rating Sunday night for the Cowboys and the Patriots will be huge. It's 75% a Cowboy rating, 25% a Tom Brady rating. I don't think the Patriots, if they lost, would be in the top 12 to 15. I really don't. I really don't. If Russell Wilson didn't play for the Seahawks, that's not a top 15 brand. Seahawks were never nationally relevant until Russell Wilson got there. That's why these star quarterbacks in the NFL, they're worth $100 million a year. I mean, you can't. What is the Seattle Seahawk brand without Russell Wilson? What if Matt Flynn was the starter 6 years now? That's not a national brand. Montana likes him, Washington likes him, Oregon kind of likes him, and Idaho likes him. So it's just nice to see that Brady has an understanding of sort of the big picture. He may live in Boston. He's not of Boston.
He may also read Forbes, where they very clearly stated that the Dallas Cowboys are the most profitable sports organization in the world. There's other countries on this planet, and in all of those countries, the Cowboys are the most profitable in the world. They're the biggest brand in the world when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
Period.
I don't even think in the NFL it's Green Bay with Favre got close. Big Ben, Bradshaw, Steelers moved close. Aikman, Cowboys got close. Or like Aikman Cowboys was, in my estimation, Aikman Cowboys was the most popular the Cowboys have ever been.
Yeah.
They pulled away from the league in popularity then. Now, you know.
Well, you don't have to love the Cowboys, but you just can't argue with those numbers. Facts are facts.
The star on the Cowboy logo is a symbol of American football. The Patriot logo is a symbol in Boston. I mean, and I'm a Patriot homer. Right, like I'm a Brady homer, but that brand is Brady. That brand is Belichick. It's not the logo. It's not the brand. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, you know how we love the Browns talking about their last game in the middle of the week. Now, usually it happens around Wednesday, but they did play on Thursday, so we guess we bump it up a day. So we're still talking about the fight and the suspensions. The Browns are. Obviously, a lot of suspensions and fines came down after that fight between the Browns and Steelers last Thursday night. And Browns defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson was very unhappy that Mason Rudolph was not one of the players who received a suspension.
You can't antagonize a fight and then claim bully after you get what's coming to you. You know what I mean? Of course, when I was overreacting, it's just that simple. The helmet was overboard. Let's get that clear. It's overboard. It was. But defending yourself, I don't blame him for defending himself at all.
Why do you have any opinion about it at this point?
Cleveland now 11 straight weeks is talking about the last game with a huge game coming up.
Just say it was wrong and we're moving on to the next week.
God, this team is just... This is why I said yesterday, the minute the Raiders won, Buffalo won, and the Colts won this weekend, Brown season's over. They're two back of the Raiders, and Raiders are better than Cleveland, and they're two back of Indy, and I think Indy's better than Cleveland, and certainly smarter and more disciplined, and now they're three back of Buffalo. This is a... By the way, this Miami game in Cleveland, watch it be competitive.
Oh, it will be.
Yeah.
It will be. I don't necessarily agree with how everything went down with Mason Rudolph either. I think he should have been suspended a game. I do think he added to the fight and got up and did a little bit more, and they probably should have sent a stronger message there. But I'm also fine with him being fined because he's never been in a fight before. So they have levels to this. There's a reason why he's been suspended indefinitely, which he's going to appeal tomorrow. It's going to get reduced. You can't just suspend players indefinitely. It's just the thing they said to simmer down the situation. Yeah. So he'll get 10 games or 16 games or whatever they're going to give him. But to come out and say this after, like, it's Tuesday. That was an incredibly embarrassing moment for the franchise. There's no other opinion to have. It doesn't matter if Mason Rudolph got suspended or not. It just doesn't. We all agree he antagonized the fight. Yeah. But he's hit him over the head with his helmet.
Yeah. The minute you did that, the NFL said, there are times... You could be in a room and people could do, or say, inappropriate things. But if there's an action that is so over the top of the other action, then nobody cares about the other stuff.
And everyone knows that's what happens. When you're in an altercation, there's a decision to be made there of how far you're going to take it. And look, I agree. You can't chase after him and then throw your hands up in the air, but it doesn't matter. Don't talk about it. Just don't talk about the last game. So the Panthers have a losing record of 13-14 since David Tepper bought the team in 2018. Carolina's now lost 3 of their last 4 games this year. And Tepper reportedly told Charlotte media that he is extremely frustrated with losing and will not accept long-term mediocrity. He doesn't want to make a decision on Cam Newton's future until he's fully healthy, but he said it would be ideal for Cam to return and lead the Panthers to a Super Bowl victory one day. He's also pleased with Kyle Allen's performance so far, saying he's exceeded expectations since filling in for Newton. I do like that he hasn't made any the new owner hasn't made any drastic moves yet. To me, that's a good sign. Owners that come in and fire everybody and then aren't happy after 3 games and then fire a new person, we know how that goes. So that's just setting a bad precedent for the future of the organization. I do think there's going to be some changes next year, though. And I just don't know how, after all the conversation about Kyle Allen when he had that short-term string of success about Cam Newton, how Cam Newton comes back. It's almost one of those things where it's like you already didn't pull the plug on him because he's injured, but it doesn't feel like he's going to be there next year.
To me, there's an easy solution. I think it's an obvious one. I would go after Teddy Bridgewater. I'll say this again for Carolina. Teddy knows the Saints. He knows the division. He's going to be a free agent. 2 or 3 teams. There won't be a robust market for Teddy, but there'll be 2 or 3 teams. Carolina can say, stay in the time zone, stay in the division. We'll give you Christian McCaffrey, 2 great young receivers, Greg Olsen, veteran head coach, stable organization, rich owner. And Teddy Bridgewater is kind of, for those getting frustrated with Cam, Teddy's the opposite. Totally focused on football.
Right.
Incredibly coachable, super accurate, great distributor, takes to coaching immediately. Teddy Bridgewater to Carolina is so obvious, I don't know why it's not out there. You can literally bring over a guy that and he's a free agent. He's on the market. And it's not going to be a dynamic market for him. Tennessee may go after him. Carolina can say, this is the part of the country, time zone you grew up in. You know the division.
Right.
You know the personnel. We are a stable franchise with a superstar running back and tremendous young receivers and a defense that keeps you in games. I'm Teddy Bridgewater. Carolina is so attractive to me. And if I'm Carolina and that building split right now on Cam, all the Cam stuff that drives you nuts, Teddy's the opposite.
And it just feels like they've reached that crossroads with Cam where it's like if you stick with him,
then you got to stick with him.
You have to, so you have to ride that out for the rest of the time because they're just good enough to not be high enough to get a draft pick or be in the conversation. Let's say make a major trade to move up. So you're in a not win now mode, but you have talent. Like, don't demolish the situation.
Right.
Add someone who proved themselves this year, like Teddy Bridgewater. And I think Cam should end up probably either here in LA with the Chargers or with the Bears. Finally, Luka Doncic continued his incredible sophomore season last night. He had a career-high 42 points with 11 rebounds and 12 assists in the Mavericks' 117-110 win over the Spurs. At 20 years and 263 days old, that stat line makes Doncic the second youngest player to record a 40-point triple-double. The youngest is LeBron James, who completed the feat at 20 years old and just 100 days old.
Luka is going to be an unstoppable offensive force. Now, how well-rounded is he? His size, his ability to handle the ball. How is Luka 6'10"? He looks so big to me. He's the biggest 6'7" guy I've ever seen in my life.
He's just so strong. And he doesn't, I don't want to compare him to LeBron, but he does kind of have that like downhill style of play where he just kind of pushes you to the basket, and he's strong.
He is what they call a natural scorer.
Yes.
He is going to drop 25, and he looks so big because everybody that's guarding him is like 6'5", and he's just angular and long. He can put it on the deck. He creates his own shot. It's hard for the guys. The bigs can't keep up with him. The smalls, he towers over. I mean, look at this video. That guy's 27 a night.
He's so fun to watch. They're 5th in the West now. I love the future of the Mavericks in his hands. Like he really is a star. He's just enjoyable to watch play.
Yeah. It's fun when Dallas is good.
Yes, it is.
Dallas is a fun team to root for. Joy with a